The Orlando Magic have made life incredibly difficult for opposing teams all season, boasting the third best defense in the league this year. Since the All-Star break, they're allowing only 106.8 points per 100 possessions, which is the number one ranked defense in the NBA. There are a lot of reasons as to why their defense has been such a nightmare for offenses to try and score against, but one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle when looking at their success has been Jalen Suggs. There's no question that he's been one of, if not the best guard defender in the NBA this season. And not only that, but he's also taken massive strides on the offensive side of the ball, making everything that he does for Orlando on the defensive end even more impactful. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. As always, be sure to subscribe and leave a like if you enjoy the video. Before we jump into it, a quick word from today's sponsor, Fitbod. If you're anything like me, headphones are an essential part of any workout, but the essential that your workout really needs is Fitbod. Fitbod is a fitness app that adapts to you as you improve, and they make it really easy to see your progress regardless of where you're at on your fitness journey. It's like having your own personal trainer, but way more affordable, and it makes it to where you can work out anywhere with or without equipment. And it's super simple to follow a fully customized plan tailored for you. I'm not a member at a gym. I don't have access to super fancy equipment or anything like that. And what I love about Fitbod is that it takes all the frustration out of planning a workout around equipment and around the gym to where I can work out anytime, anywhere. Also, if you're like me, then you don't really want to spend hours in the gym anytime you work out. And so I really like the high intensity interval training that they have, to where I can get a workout in as little as 30 minutes. Add Fitbod to your workout essentials. Join Fitbod today and get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app for free at fitbod.me/AlexHoops. That's fitbod.me/AlexHoops. Thank you so much to Fitbod for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. Now, while many are starting to wake up to just how good of a defender Jalen Suggs is, the defensive ability that he's showcasing this year has been apparent when he's been healthy over the last couple of years. But his offensive progression is what's really unlocked even more for the Orlando Magic by allowing Jalen Suggs' impact to be felt on defense without having to give up anything on the offensive end. He's developed a reliable three-point shot, going from a 21.4% shooter his rookie year to 32.7% his sophomore year, and now this year he's shooting nearly 40% from three on 5.3 attempts per game. It's fair to ask how that efficiency is going to scale with a higher volume of three-point shots, but next to Paolo Banchero, who is the driving force of Orlando's offense, it's really important that you surround him with floor spacers. And so with Suggs, it was going to be vital for Orlando's long-term success, building around Paolo and Franz, that Suggs can consistently capitalize on the spot-up opportunities that those guys generate for him, and he's definitely been able to do that this year. It doesn't matter how good you are defensively. If you're an overall negative on the offensive end, then your team is going to have a much more difficult time justifying keeping you on the floor. It's all about being able to find a balance between defense and offense. You could make your team 25% better on the defensive end when you're on the floor, but if your team is significantly worse on the offensive end when you're on the floor, then it's just going to cancel out any benefit that they get from your defense. The Magic don't have to make that sacrifice with Jalen Suggs anymore. Now, let's get into the defense. He's got the 8th most steals in the NBA this year, and what separates Jalen Suggs from a lot of other guys when it comes to generating steals is that he doesn't do a ton of gambling when it comes to generating these turnovers. A lot of guys will just overplay passing lanes, and you can rack up a pretty heavy number of steals that way. But it can oftentimes lead to giving up wide open baskets if you don't manage to get that steal. Suggs is just such a pesky, frustrating player to try and create offense against that he can disrupt his matchup's handles and poke the ball away, and his understanding of how guys are going to react to his defense allows him to trick them into making a move that he knows he's going to be able to use as an opportunity to nab a steal. This play, it's a little bit tough to see, but when Alexander Walker brings the ball up, Suggs is going to be forcing him to the sideline, and he knows that Alexander Walker is going to have to pull the ball back to his right to avoid going out of bounds. And once that happens, Suggs is able to stick his hand in there and disrupt the ball and create the turnover. Here, Vassell is going to come and get this screen from Victor Wembanyama, and Suggs is going to have to fight and try and prevent the three-point shot. But even though Vassell hits him with the timely pump fake, Suggs is still able to swipe down because he knows where the ball is going to be, and he gets the steal. Mark Williams and Hayward are going to set up for this pick and roll, and he's going to be trying to force Hayward left. So Hayward's trying to maneuver to where he can either get a lane to drive right or get Suggs hung up on the screen. So when he pulls back and he brings the ball down low to his right so that Williams can set the screen on the left, Suggs is going to use that opportunity to just reach right down there and grab the ball away from him. One of the best things about being able to generate turnovers like this is the fact that they end up leading to transition opportunities, which is just very highly efficient offense. And if you're generating live ball turnovers like this, you're giving your team some very easy opportunities to score. He's also a menace as an off-ball chaser. Anytime teams are trying to run actions to get a primary scoring option and open look coming off of a screen, Suggs is always engaged in following them and tracking them to make sure that he's in a position to disrupt their shot. One of the most common off-ball screens that we see in the NBA is simple pin downs for guys to come up and get an open look on the perimeter. And since Jalen Suggs is such a great screen navigator, he's able to follow guys off of those screens and turn what could have been wide open looks into highly contested low percentage looks. Alternatively, he can run guys off the three-point line without getting stuck behind those off-ball screens and giving them a wide open lane to the basket, staying right there with them, forcing them into difficult low percentage looks. Even if he does get hung up on a ball screen in the pick and roll, he's liable to track the ball handler all the way down to the paint and block their shot when they think that they have him beat. Also, in general in the half court, I think he's a very underrated shot blocker. Being able to come from wherever he's at on the floor and making sure that he's helping the helper whenever one of his teammates is forced to turn their back on somebody. The off-ball defense extends to occasionally operating as a weak side help defender in general, with 𝙖𝙗𝙗𝙪 making this cut up the middle, and with Wendell Carter Jr. playing more up on the play near the elbow, it looks like there's not really going to be any interior presence to provide help down there. But Suggs already knows what the Raptors are trying to do, and of course he's going to end up catching 𝙖𝙗𝙗𝙪 by surprise and swiping down on the shot to force the turnover. When guys attack the basket against him, he's got really strong footwork, so even against guys that can stop on a dime with the ball in their hands, they're still going to have a really difficult time creating the separation necessary to get a good look against Jalen Suggs. He's also great at anticipating inbounds plays and disrupting the ball by knowing where they're going to be trying to get an open shooter a look from before the ball is even in play. He generally just has really great defensive instincts and feel on that side of the floor. The Wizards are going to try and get Jordan Poole an open look here, with Poole ghosting the screen so that he can get this exit screen in the corner so he can get the pass for the shot. But Suggs is going to read this play like a book, navigating the action to perfection and crowding Poole's space so that the pass doesn't connect and the Wizards turn it over. Similar situation here with a baseline out of bounds play, and he's matched up against Cam Thomas, and the Nets are going to set a screen for him to flare to the corner. But again, Suggs is going to have it all mapped out, and he disrupts the inbound to force the turnover. Even when he does provide help, he's great at closing out without giving up an easy advantage. Most guys, when they close out like this, they're going to end up giving up a free drive to the hoop, forcing somebody else to slide over. But Suggs is going to use this unique closeout where he's actually going to angle himself like he's forcing on an OB baseline. But when OG attacks, Suggs is going to flip around with his back to him instead of trying to flip his hips around, and it allows him to stay perfectly in line with Anunoby on the drive. One of the cherries on top with Jalen Suggs as a defender is that he's got a ridiculous motor, and you'll oftentimes see him chasing guys down in transition and getting a lot of those momentum swinging blocks, especially in high leverage moments of games. There's no doubt that Jalen Suggs is already one of the best defenders in the NBA. The versatility that he shows as a guard and the difficulty of matchups that he takes on a nightly basis are a testament to how much faith the Orlando Magic have in his ability to impact that side of the ball. He's got the highest defensive estimated plus minus out of all guards in the NBA that are playing at least 25 minutes a night. And what's most important is that, like I said earlier, Orlando isn't sacrificing spacing by having him out there. I don't know how far Orlando's going to end up getting in the postseason, but what I do know is that whatever team runs into them in the playoffs is not going to leave unscathed after having to go through the defensive gauntlet that Jalen Suggs and the Orlando Magic are going to put them through. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'd appreciate it if you considered leaving a like and subscribing if you want to see more stuff like this. Shout out to my patrons for supporting the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.